Hi guys, it's Sam from Made by Ireland. I hope you guys are doing well today. I just wanted to hop on today because I know a lot of people struggle with the differences between interfacing and stabilizers. I know when I first started bag making, it was something that was just so foreign to me. I remember going into the local craft supply shops, and even they had no idea what I was talking about when I was asking about interfacing and stabilizers. This is in Australia, in case my accent isn't obvious. So I thought I'll just do one quickly. I'm in no means an expert. I am just someone who sews a lot. I sew for a living. And so I just thought I'd share some of what I found. So first of all, jump straight into it, interfacing and stabilizer. What's the difference? So the biggest difference for me personally, in my understanding, is interfacing is used to make your fabric suitable. So that's if you're using a fabric that isn't suitable for bag making. So for example, cotton woven because it's lightweight and it frays. Something like PUL, again, it's stretchy and it's not super thick. Same could be said for lycra. So if you're using any of the lycra fabrics, any stretch fabrics, you are able to use interfacing to make it non-stretch, which then makes it a suitable fabric for bag making. So I mentioned quickly cotton woven. So I try not to use cotton woven very often, mainly because I don't like interfacing. Not gonna lie, I don't like interfacing. So this is a cotton woven fabric. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's, as you can see there, it's very easy fray. It's lightweight, it's very thin, it's flimsy. So this is what you find in most of your normal fabric shops, at least in Australia. So if I use any cotton woven at all, I always interface. Now, this is what I like to try and get. This is waterproof canvas. So it doesn't fray as much. Obviously, I'm saying that as there's a fraying edge here, but that's, you know, the selvage. It doesn't fray as much. It's much thicker. There's a lot more stability to it when we compare it to cotton woven. See, so that's the difference. You can't really see thickness wise, I don't think, on the camera, but you can kind of see it in the feel and how it, you know, manipulates. So with waterproof canvas, most of the time I do not interface. I don't think it's necessary for me personally, especially if it's a non-fraying waterproof canvas. There are different grades of waterproof canvases. Some do fray, some don't. I've learned now which suppliers don't fray, and I try to buy from them because even if their fabric's a little bit more expensive, the fact that I don't have to then spend money on interfacing and time on interfacing, that's money in my pocket. So that's interfacing. So stabilizer, what is stabilizer? So stabilizer is what you use to get the structure of the bag. So as I showed you before, this is waterproof canvas. So even though waterproof canvas still has structure, it's not a good enough structure for a bag, you know, like it's still a little bit more flimsy. So that's where your stabilizers come in. So this is like your foams, your fleece, that kind of thing. And what it does is it gives your bag structure. So interfacing to make your fabric suitable, stabilizer to give your bag structure. So for me personally, I like all my bags to have structure. So almost all of my bags will have stabilizer of some sort, okay? Different patterns call for different stabilizers. So when I was starting out, I bought so many different stabilizers, like so many, because if the pattern called for it and I didn't know what it was, and my craft supplies didn't know what it was, then I went online to source exactly what the pattern maker asked for. I've now streamlined my process a lot. So I mentioned in my other videos, I pretty much only exclusively now use Sewfisive Foam from Sewfisticated Supplies. They also now have a non-adhesive, so I guess I can't say exclusively Sewfisive Foam, but so I pretty much only use foam from Sewfisticated Supplies now. I'll show you that in a bit as well if you wanted to keep watching, but this is about interfacing and stabilizer, so let me keep on track. So I've got a couple of different types of interfacing here to give you a really good idea. So this is what they call woven, what is called woven interfacing. So it's very see-through. I don't know if you can see me through that, but it's super see-through. This is a medium weight woven interfacing. This is what we find really regularly in Australia. You can't tell from the camera, but one side is rougher, the other side is smoother. So the rougher side, that's glue. So what you do is you put that against your fabric on the glue side and hot iron, hold for 15 to 20 seconds, and that will then adhere to your fabric. And then with a woven interfacing, what it does is it has the I guess the feeling of fabric, so of woven fabric, so it's still nice and smooth and beautiful, and so you'll still look and feel like fabric, but your fabric is now suitable for bag making. So it's now that little bit thicker, it's got a little bit more structure, and it's non-fraying. Okay. The other interfacing that a lot of people use is a non-woven. So this is, I think this is a non-woven, but it's very, if you can see it's very it's very paper-like almost. It's this side's shiny because that's the glue, this side's matte because it's not. So once this is on, you kind of lose your fabric feel to your fabric. It still does its job beautifully. It's just it no longer feels as much like fabric as you would have woven. Your non-wovens, in Australia anyway, are cheaper interfacing than your woven interfacing. Personally, I like woven interfacing more. To me, it just makes sure it keeps the feeling of fabric so that you're still a fabric. You don't crease as much because, as you can see, like if you crease this, the creases hold very easily. Obviously, if I crease fabric, it holds too, but the holds aren't quite as dramatic, I guess, as a non-woven. So moving on, there's also different levels of interfacing as well, I should say, of thickness. Like this one here, I've got a giant roll. That's how much I was using at one point until I gave up. So this is a buckram. So buckram is thicker. So this is like a heavyweight woven interfacing. So I used this for a while on cotton wovens that I still wanted a bit of structure, and I thought I could maybe get away without using stabiliser. So it was like a little trial period of my life. Didn't work. So I ended up having to interface and still stabilise. So then it was just extra thick, but it works really well for those really thin cotton wovens. So that was a phase I went through. Now, stabilizers. So we have lots of different types of stabilizers. Some are pattern dependent, but once you're confident or you know what you're doing, it really is maker dependent as to what kind of stabilizer you like. So I'll just pull a couple of, things are falling everywhere around me, of popular stabilizers. So this is fleece. So this is extra loft fleece. I've realized my local craft shop sold extra loft as well as normal fleece, and extra loft is a little bit thicker, it's a little bit denser, so it gives a little bit more structure. Now, fleece is quite thin. It's not really, it doesn't really give that much structure. So it's, for me, I use fleece for like my smaller projects or projects I just want like a drapier look to. Okay, so that's when you would potentially use fleece. Now, another one that gets called for a lot is foam. So this is foam that I can buy from my local supplier. Again, like I said, before I found Sewfisive Supplies, this is what Sewfisticated Supplies, sorry, this is what I was using. So I have them by the bulk. I buy them by the bulk whenever they're on sale. So this is foam. So it's exactly what you'd expect foam to be, right? It's spongy, it's thick, but it gives good structure. The thing that I didn't like about this foam is that it's really spongy. So it kind of takes away from the expensive look sometimes, unless you are quilting it. Okay, because with quilting you do want a bit of sponge. It's cute, but normally I don't like the sponge, but I love the structure. And then that's where the other alternatives come in. Like You've got like your Decavol Heavy, your Decavol Light. I've never been able to try Decavol personally, because in Australia, Decavol is like next level expensive, like crazy expensive. I have used, sorry, I had to duck down. I have used Peltex. So this is Peltex, or an equivalent of Peltex. So what it is it's almost cardboardy. It's super thick, super hard. Well, not super thick, but it's super hard. Like, you do not want to sew on this, but it gives amazing structure. It's great for bag bases, and it's not thick, which is why, to me, this was preferable over foam, just because of the thickness, and it didn't have that sponginess. Now, I don't want to harp on, but that's when I've discovered Sewfisticated Supplies. So this is the Sewfisticated Supplies foam. So if you'll indulge me for a second, I am an affiliate. If you buy anything through these links, I will get a commission. So thank you so much. But I genuinely do love these products, and that's why I'm using it. So I have since stopped using pretty much fleece and foam, Decavol. Well, I've never used Decavol, so Peltex, any of those. And I've moved over almost exclusively now to Sewfisive Foam. I say almost exclusively because I still have to use woven interfacing sometimes. Like I said, interfacing, stabilizer, two different things, okay? So if Sewfisticated Supplies, hey Jassy, that was a horrible wink. I don't know why I did that. But if you decide to bring out interfacing, please let me know, because I do need a woven interfacing, just saying. Anyway, so this is Sewfisticated Foam. This is, I'll just talk about this quickly. This is a non-adhesive. So I've recently started using the non-adhesive quite a lot on birthed projects. I hate birthing. Birthing hurts my hands. Hate it. So I've started using these on things like the Sunny Sleeve from Sewfisticated Craft Designs. If you haven't seen it, I've done a video. The peony I've used this on as well, and it's amazing on the peony. So that's kind of where I'm leaning to at the moment, a lot of the non-adhesive for birthing projects. Now, I've got two types here. There's actually three types, but I couldn't find a scrap for the third, and I didn't want to bring out big bundles. So these are your foams, your adhesive foams, your Sewfisive foams. So this is, let me double check. Yeah, I believe this is the heavy and this is the premium. So the difference is the thickness. So, and they're both still really, like, even the premium is really quite thin. Like, if you compare it to, this is my Peltex, like, it's not much thicker, right? And what I love about it is you still have your structure that all the other stabilizers provide, but three different sizes. So you've got your heavy, you've got your heavy, your premium, and this isn't the light, but I'm going to say it's the light. So you've got your three, and the three for me replace everything. So for example, if a pattern called for fleece, I would use Sewfisive Light. If a pattern called for foam, I would use heavy. If a pattern called for Peltex, Decavol Heavy, I would use premium. Decavol Light, I think, would go heavy or small. To me, a lot also depends on the size of the bag itself. So if I'm doing like something like this is my Pandora Allure. I've shown you guys in some of my videos before. I used heavy on this. It's not a huge bag, but I wanted it to have like a nice standing structure. My base, I used the premium because for bases, you don't want a saggy bag. No one wants a saggy bag. No saggy bags. Anyway, I don't want a saggy bag. Up on the top, you might see my laptop bag up there. With the laptop bag, again, I used heavy for the front and back. For the gusset, I think I might have just used light. And then for the base, I used premium. So you can mix and match them as well, which is what I love. And that's the funnest thing, I think, with stabilizers. So stabilizers, whatever a pattern calls for, you don't have to follow. It's a guideline. And that's what I've had to learn. It took me a long time and a lot of money to learn that you don't have to buy everything that the pattern says to buy in terms of stabilizer. So just because a pattern calls for Peltex doesn't mean you need to run out and look for Peltex. It just means that was the stabilizer that the designer had available, and that's what she used. She or he used. So it really is very much you dependent. That's the whole point of patterns, of bag making, is you get to express yourself how you want. If I wanted to make a Pandora Allure and I wanted to use no stabilizer at all, is that possible? I probably could have. I couldn't. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I like structure to a bag. I can't. Sorry. I can't even entertain that thought. I like my structure to a bag. So if you stuck with me this whole time, thank you so much. So quick summary, I promise. Interfacing makes your fabric suitable for bag making. Stabilizer gives it structure. So, and if you wanted to support me, please hit subscribe. I'm trying to do as many videos as I can when I can. I'm a mum of 2 kids, so time is not my best friend, but I try. And if you wanted to give Sewfisticated Supplies a try, I have the link in my not in my comments, but I've got the link linked down there somewhere, hopefully. And that is an affiliate link, so whatever you buy from those links, I will get a commission payout for, so thank you so much. To be honest, whatever I get paid out there, I spend there anyway. So you are just supporting my fabric buying habits. Anyway, it's Sam from Made by Erilyn. Thank you for joining me today. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.